Okay, well this video is gonna be it's gonna jump around a lot. There's not gonna be probably any gameplay in this video. It might also be kinda short. But I'm gonna show you guys how to do an ancient Ultima Online secret called macroing. It's pretty much what all these characters are doing. They're raising their skills even when they're not at their computer. You might notice that if you've been playing, again, I don't know how many of you are actually out here playing. I haven't seen too many Urists running around this past week. I think some of you guys might have gotten bored of it, or created alts not named Urist. But let's say you want to raise your anatomy skill, or your hiding skill, and you don't want to sit there all day and just click the skill button. You know, you can click it for 10 minutes and not even raise a single point, so that gets discouraging. That is quite tiring, and you want to kind of automate the process like all of these people are doing. They're all working their skills. They're probably at school. Maybe they're at work if they're old enough. Who knows? But either way, they're not sitting there numbing their brain out doing the same thing over and over and over. Let's see. The skill that I'm going to show you how to set up, and you'll be able to tweak this to pretty much any skills that you want, is the first thing we're going to set up is anatomy. You might also notice I have skill buttons here. To get a skill button, you just drag your skill off of your skill scroll here. You just left click and hold and drag it off to the side, and you'll get a nice big fat button instead of having a small little blue gem to press. And it also makes it so you don't have to set up a hotkey for it. For example, I don't need a hotkey for tracking. I might use this tracking button, you know, once every week. So even if I did set up a hotkey for it, I probably wouldn't even remember it. Same with detecting and all that stuff. But we're just going to work anatomy for now. You want to pull up Razor, and you want to go to your macro tab, and just press new. And this is going to be the name of your macro. We're just going to call it anatomy. Simple and straightforward, because that's all we're going to be working on it. Highlight it, and then press record. And you want to be careful once you press record, because it's going to start recording every action that you do in the game. We're just going to go over here, double click on my skill button for anatomy that we pulled over, and we're just going to click on a target. We'll click on this guy. We're going to assume that, yeah, he's not going to leave while I film this. And once that's done, you can see it recorded us using the skill anatomy. It saw that anatomy brought up a targeting cursor, and it saw that we targeted him. Absolute target means that the macro will only work on that target. If it can't find that target, it will fail. You can switch it and change it to retarget. You can, choose a new target. Let's say you macro for 30 minutes and you come back after taking a dump and your target is gone. Well, you can retarget it and choose someone else. A way around that to kind of ensure that you always have a target is simply to log on a second UO client. You can have three clients at a time running from the same IP. So you can have, 3 of your characters lined up, all of them working anatomy. If you made a more complex macro, which I might show you guys here in a little bit, you could have your characters fighting each other, grabbing weapons from the bank, grabbing bandages from the bank, grabbing magic regents from the bank. That way you don't have to stand around with 5,000 gold piece worth of regents and band-aids on your character. Waiting for a thief to come kill you or steal your stuff while you're at school or work. We're just going to leave this as absolute target. Last target is more or less the same thing as absolute target, except it's easier to change. You can change last target while you play in-game. To change absolute target, you actually have to come into Razor and change it there. Relative location doesn't work on this server. Otherwise, if it did, I would show you guys how to just easily chop wood and mine ore. Not AFK resource gathering, mind you, but lazy man's gathering, where all you have to do is walk in a straight line or walk around and the game harvests for you. But it doesn't work, so we're not going to get to do that. But now that we're done rambling, I've probably lost you guys. You'll notice that over here we've got skill, anatomy, wait for target, and absolute target. We're not done setting up the macro yet. You want to right click in the blank area, go down to special constructs, and these are all the different variables that you can choose to edit. You can do if. I'm not very good at describing these guys. I'm describing these, and I don't want to because it's gonna fucking screw you up even more. So I'm just gonna say put insert pause /wait. Anatomy has like a 2.5 second cooldown, but due to lag and other variables, I'm just going to add it 3 seconds. So put pause for 3000 milliseconds, insert pause and wait. Click on loop, and you want to click on wait for target here and right click on that because we want to edit that line as well. You want to go to edit timeout, and this is how many seconds the macro will just pause and wait if it doesn't get the correct information that it wants. We're going to bump this down to 1. You can completely remove that if you want. I always leave it with just a small timeout. Yeah, I don't know, just that's how I do it. And that's it. That's your anatomy macro. You can press play and it'll automatically use your anatomy skill. It'll automatically target the person that you chose, and it'll wait for 3 seconds until it can use the skill again. Once you've got that set up, you can go away. You can go take a break, you can go eat lunch, you can go hang out with your girlfriend, you can go do whatever you want, and your character will continue to raise skill. And you can do that for any skill. You can do it for hiding, you can do it for well, any skill that you can click and use. There are other ways to use skills that I'll be getting into here in a moment, like how to macro meditation, how to macro forensics if you want to be a detective. You can do hiding that way. Hiding has like a 12-second cooldown though, so you'll have to bump up the pause here to 12 seconds. So yeah, that's how you macro anatomy. Feel free to experiment with on your own to macro any other skills that you don't want to stand around and work with all day. And whenever we come back, I'm going to show you how to macro meditation and a few other skills myself though. Okay, so maybe you're a mage in training and you want to work on your meditation a little bit. Perhaps you don't want to sit at the bank and cast spells all day, lowering your mana in order to work on your meditation. A simple way around that is to go to one of the mage shops, speak to one of the mages, and buy yourself a magical wizard's hat. They're fairly cheap, only like 4 gold piece right here. A magical wizard's hat for 4 gold piece. And you have to make sure that it says a magical wizard's hat. There are regular wizard's hats that don't actually do anything. And you'll just put it on your head, and you'll notice that your intelligence, I think, gets bumped up. Yeah, your intelligence is bumped up by 5 whenever you wear this hat, but you lose 5 strength and 5 dexterity. So you won't want to be wearing this in combat probably, but for the sake of practicing meditation, it is quite useful. To make the macaroni for meditation, you want to press, we'll just make a new list here for about meditation, right there. And to start off, make sure the hat is on your head. It needs to be on your head. And then we're just going to press record and do something as simple as dragging it, dropping it into your backpack, putting it back on, and then double clicking meditation. It should look like this if you did it right. It'll say lift, and then this is the hat number, so it's lifting the hat, and then it's dropping it to a specific point in your backpack, wherever you released it to. We want to put a pause there. We're just going to pause for 1 second, 1000 milliseconds. So it'll be 1, 2, and then the third step will be a pause. And then it's going to lift it from your backpack and put it on your head slot, and then it's going to use the skill meditation that we double clicked on. You want to input another pause after that, probably for just about 5 seconds, so 5000 milliseconds. And we want to loop it. So then we'll just start it over, and you'll see it takes the hat off, puts it in our backpack, and then quickly puts it back on and uses meditation. And I've already gained a point of meditation from it. It's a pretty nice way to do it. There's other ways, I believe. You can get drunk. You can go to the tavern and buy ale and get yourself piss-ass drunk and then macro meditation while your mana slowly drains down from the inebriation. But that's how you macro that. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. After 2 or 3 days of doing this, you can get your meditation skill up to about 70 or 80, I think. It's not too bad. It works. So that's meditation. Whenever we come back, I'm going to show you guys how to make quick and cheap bandages. For all you Dexers out there, or people too poor to afford Band-Aids from the store, this is actually the best way to do it. We'll be back. Okay, so let's say for some reason or another you're completely broke, or you don't have any bandages, or maybe you're just tired of running out through the wilderness and you wanna do something that's not gonna get you killed. You can come up here to the sheep pen. You can see it on my radar right here. This is the sheep pen of Scarbray, and the sheep here spawn rather quickly. You can see them. This is a naked sheep. It doesn't have any wool that you can harvest. This sheep right here does have wool. It's got a nice thick coat. To harvest the wool, you'll just double click on your dagger, whatever, or any other bladed weapon in your backpack, and then you'll chase the little fucker. And you'll click on him, and it shears the wool that was on him and puts it in your backpack. After you've sheared a sheep, it's considered good manners to kill the little bastard, because the sheep will respawn in just a matter of minutes, whereas they will eventually regrow their wool, but it'll take something like 3 real life hours or more. So don't make people wait for that. Have some manners and kill your sheep. You can do that for as long as you want. See, there's another sheep. They spawn rather quickly here, and you can find the sheep scattered all throughout the world as well. By no means is this the only place to get wool from. So let's say you've been shearing for a while and you've got a nice stack of wool, and you're ready to do something with it. You'll take the wool and you'll run all the way down to the tailor shop. And you know what? I'm going to stop by my bank real quick, and I'm going to get some wool here. I've got a nice little stack. We'll just grab 20 wool from my bank and put that there. This is also a good way to get band-aids. Say you want to work on your weapon skills, you want to macro those all day long while you're at work. You want to spar with your other account or something. You can, stock up on wool that way instead of having to go buy band-aids. But this is the tailor shop. They've got the beautiful little scissors out front, and this is sheer pleasure. Wool has to be turned into yarn. And you turn wool into yarn by double clicking on it and using it on one of these spinning wheels. You can also make a macro for that, which we're going to do right now. Let's see, I've already got one. So wool to yarn. We're just going to delete this and we'll create a new one. Fuck. Come on. Wool. There we go. Wool to yarn. And then just click record and double click on your wool, and then double click on the spinning wheel there. And that is it. That is that macro done. You'll want to input a pause and wait for as long as it takes the wheel to finish spinning, which is I think about 4 seconds, something like that. So there we go. It doesn't matter if it's at the top, if the pause is at the top of the list or at the bottom, as long as it gets there. And we'll want to edit the timeout to about 1 second. So we'll click play, it'll wait 4 seconds, and then it'll begin to work through and loop through this macro. It'll take quite some time to work down a whole stack. You can do it well hidden too. Sometimes there are thieves that hang out around in here, or just bored people who you may not trust. So, it's up to you if you want to stand out in the open or not. I'm a coward, so I hide anytime I do anything. Let's see. That should be good enough. I'm not going to turn all of this wool. It already went through 7 of them. I'm not going to turn it all into yarn. But once you've got that yarn made, you want to come over to the loom here, double click on your yarn, and use it on the loom. And it will not give you a bolt like it just did for 1 piece of yarn. It takes something like 5. Actually, I've already got a macro made for that. Fuck it, I'm going to delete it, and we're going to create a new one here. Yarn to bolts. And we'll just press record, double click on our yarn here, double click on the loom, and it'll tell you how much further you have to go. The bolt of cloth has just been started, so we can stop it. And this does not have a huge weight at all. In fact, we don't even need to do a full second pause on this, because you can just jam the yarn into the loom as quickly as the system will let you. But we will add just a little bit of weight. So once you've got that macro made, you can just click the button, step back, and it'll begin to create your bolts for you. You can see that, look, we've already got 150 yards of cloth. That's 150 band-aids. Hello, shrubbery. You a thief? Probably. Maybe. Can never tell. But now we're out of yarn. And there we go. That's how you make band-aids. Let's see. What else will we do here? I don't know. I'm going to figure out what other macros I want to show you guys. And then I think I will do a little bit of gameplay. I'll show you some different areas around the world we can run around. You can go get some decent, easy combat in without having to worry about being jumped up on or having somebody try to kill you.